nations. 5 are fallen, 1 is, and 1 is yet to come. Who were the 5 fallen of the time when John wrote the book of Revelation 2,000 years ago? Assyria, Egypt, Babylon, Medo-Persia, and Greece. Which nation was in existence when he wrote the book? Rome. Which is the one that was yet to come? Revived Rome. Now, in Revelation 13:1, we see the rise of this international global dictator. And he comes out of the sea having 7 heads and 10 horns. The sea there is the Mediterranean, and the European Union nations surround it, and he rises out of that conglomeration of nations. And the Bible says that he has 7 heads. Why? Because each one of these 7 world empires is mixed together, but this is the 7th and final one. And it becomes global in scope. It started with 10, as we saw, and then moves to a world monstrosity. For Daniel 7:23 says that this world dictator engulfs the entire globe. And then in Revelation 13, after we see this rise in verse 1, verse 3 says, "Oh, the world marveled after him." Verse 7, "Power was given unto him over all kindreds, tongues, people, and nation." Verse 8, "All that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life." The born-again believers won't accept it, and of course they'll die for it in Revelation 20, verse 4. So he creates this numerical system through all this modern technology to keep track of people. And so in that same chapter 13, verses 16 to 18, it says, "He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or forehead, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." Here is wisdom. "Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man, and his number is 600, 66. 600 we know, a score is 20, 60 is 60, and 6. So there is that infamous number, 666, the mark of the beast.
When our daughter take them.
Well, Peter Cochrane, head of research and development at the British Telecom, says this: "I could actually have a passive transponder put under my skin right now. It's no longer a dream, friends. This is reality. It could cost less than $1, and it would be there for life. And you know what? It would replace as many as 35 plastic cards in my wallet." Now, most people are going to want this. You know, it's really pesty to have all those cards in your pocketbook or in your wallet. Why not just in the hand? Kane, Vice President of Cubic Corporation's Automatic Revenue Collection Services, and they are the ones who make these smart cards systems. He had this to say: "If we had our way, we'd implant a chip behind everyone's ear in the maternity ward. Mothers, how would you like to take your baby home from the maternity ward with a chip implanted behind his or her ear?" The computer chip is becoming embedded into popular culture. This is from USA Today. And in the Chicago Tribune, they reported last year, Edward Cornish, president of the World Future Society, predicted that marketing of such chips will begin very, very soon. And as I said, friends, this is not a dream. This is reality, Jack. It's taking place.
Oh, Rexella, I've got something here that sends chills up and down my spine. It's Strong's Concordance, and it was produced by Dr. James Strong, who was the theological professor at Drew University in the 1800s. It's 150 years old. And it took him 35 years to put this together, because he took every word in the Bible, including the word "if." And everywhere the word "if" appeared, he put it in there chronologically from Genesis to Revelation as to where the word is found. And that is every single word in the Bible. Now, when he comes to Revelation 13:16, the word mark on page 661, he identifies the Greek meaning of the word in the back of the concordance, and so at point 5480 and 5481, he has the words charagma and character, and they mean together the use of an engraving instrument to put an incision in the flesh for a mark. But then he says that 666 is not only a number, but is also a word. And it's the word chixistigma. Some call it keysistigma, and you can find this in point 5516 at the back of the book. And that means it's a sign to designate recognition of a person or ownership. So when you put these three texts together, oh, I can't believe it. 150 years in advance of what's happening. They mean the use of an engraving tool to make an incision in the flesh, to place a mark there for the recognition of a person or ownership of that person. Exactly what the Bible said would come. And that terminology, mark of the beast, is not only found in Revelation 13, verses 16 and 17, but it's also chapter 14, verses 9 and 11, chapter 15, verse 2, chapter 16, verse 2, chapter 19, verse 20, and chapter 20, verse 4. It's here, excellent. Oh, that Dr. Strong saw it 150 years in advance. And we're here to see it happening. No wonder God told us we have to warn the people. Jesus is coming.
Yes.
Because the mark precedes his return to earth.
Yes.